How I do miss Boston. Ted 2. So Ted 2 is the sequel to the Seth MacFarlane comedy that came out back in 2012. I remember when it came out, everybody was talking about it, how funny it was. So when I finally sat down and watched it, I had some pretty high expectations. I was underwhelmed. I'm sorry, but I didn't think it was funny, like, at all. I hardly remember it because I only watched it the one time, but I guess everyone else loved it, so now it gets a sequel. And off the hat, I will say that it is better than the first one. Is it drop dead hilarious? No, but it's good enough to enjoy. So once again, we have Mark Wahlberg as John Bennett, and we have Seth MacFarlane as the voice of Ted. It's the exact same voice as Peter Griffin from Family Guy, but for some reason Mila Kunis didn't come back. I'm not sure why. So in this movie, Ted marries his girlfriend from the first film, and they want to have a kid together, but then some legal issues turn up. Basically, the whole film is around whether Ted can be considered a human being in the eyes of the law. And that premise is interesting enough, but remember, this is a comedy above all things. This is a Seth MacFarlane movie. It's not about the story as much as it's about the comedy. The acting in this movie was pretty good. Amanda Seyfried is in this movie. She plays the lawyer that John and Ted hire. She's really funny, but there's one point in the movie where she pulls out a guitar, right? At that point, I was like, she's gonna sing. I saw Les Mis. I have heard her sing. I have heard that scary fast vibrato of hers, and it returns in this movie. I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, she is really good in this movie. She's a suitable replacement for Mila Kunis, although she's not nearly as attractive. And you have some celebrity cameos in this movie as well. Liam Neeson, Tom Brady, David Hasselhoff. It's all par for the course with a comedy like this. It is undeniably easy to tell that this is a Seth MacFarlane movie, not just because his name's on the poster, but the way this movie is stylized, it's just like an episode of Family Guy. It's a movie made for Seth MacFarlane fans. There's this big jazz dance sequence in the beginning of the film where they're all dancing on that big ramp platform, and it's just like the Family Guy theme sequence. It was clearly an homage to that. Also, like when a scene starts, it'll start with that wide shot of the building with some jazz transition music playing, then we'll go in the building to start the scene. Stuff like that, those Seth MacFarlane-isms are all over this movie. Some dialogue will be going down, and then one character will be like, oh yeah, just like this pop culture reference. Then it'll quick cut to some funny scene that character was referring to. It's just like Family Guy. Now don't get me wrong, I like Family Guy, but that's a TV show cartoon. This is a theatrical motion picture, and the same kind of humor doesn't always work. I understand that I'm not supposed to take this movie too seriously, but at a point, these Seth MacFarlane style jokes got pretty stale. And Seth MacFarlane is a very talented guy. I'm not doubting that for a second. This is a true story. Last year, I went to the Hollywood Bowl to see John Williams conduct his movie music as he does every year, except this year. And Seth MacFarlane made a guest appearance, and he sang a couple of old-fashioned jazz songs, and if my eyes were closed, I could have sworn that it was Frank Sinatra. The guy's pretty talented. He's just not the best at making movies. The movie never lost me as it was going along. I did end up caring about the characters, or at least I remained interested enough not to go, yeah, the characters could die right now and I wouldn't even care. No, I wanted Ted to succeed in this movie. I wanted him to be happy. But only about 50% of the jokes in this movie were actually funny. The jokes that were funny in this movie, though, were great. Some of them made me laugh out loud. The movie did its job well. Its job was to be a Seth MacFarlane movie for Seth MacFarlane fans. The movie knew what it was, and that is why it does get a positive rating. I will say, wait until this movie's at a discount theater, then go see it. I am 100% positive that there's gonna be a Ted 3. It's going to be a Ted trilogy. So Ted 2, have you seen it? Do you like it better than the first one? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.